Right, welcome to the Shake, Rattle and Roll podcast, episode 8. Pleased to have Jai Herbert, former Cage Warriors world champion, current UFC athlete, having a conversation with me today. How are you doing, Jai? You okay?
No, sorry, man. All good, man. Just doing the best I can is the current situation, but it's all good.
Yeah, it's tough times at the moment. We're having this conversation with everybody. It's a once in a lifetime situation, I think, and fingers crossed it'll be the last time we ever have to deal with anything like this, pal. Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you coping yourself with training at the moment?
The only thing I'm struggling with really is the like the grappling and like doing pads with people, my coach, and obviously like using like the strength work, the big weights and stuff. That's what I'm missing really. I mean, I do bag work because I've got a bag at my set up outside my mum's house.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I go there, I have to go straight around the back garden. I can't even go in her house. So I
Yeah,
go around the back garden. I've got a bag set up there. I'd go there, do that 3 times a week, and then the rest of the week I'll just do like core work, push-ups, and like strength work. Like, I've only got like 2 10K dumbbells, so best I can do with them.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for everybody. I mean, there's only so much bloody running and bag work you can do as well.
Exactly.
I agree. You miss the sparring, you miss the grappling. Like you said, the contact side of the sport. Just somebody, working some pads and drills with you. So it's tough times, and I don't see it being over for quite some time. If I'm honest, I think we'd be looking August, September if we're lucky for the martial arts side of things to get back to normal.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, to be honest. Yeah, and then the thing is though, like what they're gonna do, like when the UFC, they're gonna want you to like in August when everything's okay, bang straight into a fight.
Yeah,
I want at least a few weeks to get proper.
Agreed. I've had this conversation with a couple of guys, and it's not like you're in the gym where you're training all the time, and then you can take those short notice fights. I mean, I would want 8 to 12 weeks for my guys from the point of the gym opening. So, it's, like you said, it's no good UFC saying, right, this is a date, are you available? They've got to give us 8 to 12 weeks, I think, for all the pro guys to get back. Because you're going to be rusty. It's going to be 6 months without any sparring or any contact. So I think it'd be a little bit unfair of them to insist on some of the guys from the UK in particular on fighting.
Well, I'm not prepared to compromise and they're saying, they've got like a show and then just jump into a show in like within 3 weeks or something. I want to make sure I want to do everything properly. I'm not making any
Yeah, and it's important,
right?
Yeah, and it's important for you, Pat, because it's your first fight in the UFC. You want to make that impression, don't you?
Exactly. I reckon I'm trying to stay in a state like a fitness where I could probably get ready within like 5-6 weeks.
Yeah. I think that's key for all the guys at the top level. Keep the cardio up, but ideally 8 to 10 weeks would be much more beneficial, I think.
Obviously, yeah, definitely. Mm.
Right, gonna go back to the beginning then. So, how did you get involved with martial arts? How old were you, and what was your first start?
My first start was mixed MMA, really. The gym opened up down the road from me, so I went down there. I'll just give it a go, just have a bit of fitness in that. I went in there, and the rest is history, really. Just cracked on. But I've never done anything else, really. I mean, to tell a lie, I think I did when I was about 12 or something, 13. I did 1 Thai boxing class lesson. Yeah. That was it. And then when I was in Scotland as well, when I was working in Scotland, living up there, I did about 5 Thai boxing classes there as well. But really, it's just been MMA, because people always say, "Oh, you must have boxed in that before," but I never done nothing really. Nothing.
Well, that shocked me. I thought you would have said then you had a boxing pedigree behind you. You're predominantly one of the best strikers in Europe. So how old was you, Jai, when you got involved in it?
21 when I first went down the gym, MMA gym, and then obviously I had to go and work away, and I went and worked in the Olympics and that because I needed the dough and that because I got laid off, and then I went and I got a job working in London, so I went and worked down there, and about 2-3 years, and then I got laid off, so I come back home, and then I started doing MMA again, and then when I was 24,
yeah,
and I had the first amateur fight.
So what was it? Renegade was your first gym, or was
it was Wolfpack MMA, my first gym.
I remember Wolfpack. Yeah, I remember Wolfpack.
Yeah, John Ashley. I did all my amateur career in 10 fights, and I think I had 5 pro fights. And then obviously after that, sort of went to pot at Wolfpack MMA. Like, you sort of lost the gym and all that stuff, and I ended up going. Then I moved over to Renegade. Yeah. I still trying to do my conditioning with John, because he's a mad guy when it comes to conditioning. It's just mad. So like, I thought I've always had good fitness in that, and I've always like been able to keep the pressure on, and I never gassed or anything in my fights and stuff like that. So I thought, because of his conditioning, so I thought obviously he's doing something right.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
With him, you know what I mean?
What? How old was you and where was you? Did you say you had 10 amateur fights? Yeah, 10 amateur.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah, so
9-1.
Who was your first amateur fight and where?
My first amateur fight was it's against this kid called Ryan Glenton, and that was in Leeds, in some sports centre in Leeds, like a leisure centre, shitty leisure centre. I'd say we were warming up in the toilets and that. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them square mats, jigsaw mats, and on the fucking toilet floor, I was rolling around and I was like, oh. And then that was no headshots. That first one.
Yeah.
Headshots. He was just like, the is it AMC? Is it amateur C or amateur B?
Yeah, C class. Yeah.
C class. That's it. Yeah. So I did that. I think they're good ideas. Like, if you never had a fight before, just, walk out, see the crowd, get in the cage, get a feel for it. So I did that, and then my next one was a full contact amateur A class. I lost that one to Adam Khan. I just lost on points. Like, I didn't really have the experience and know that I'd like to I just getting took down. I was throwing body kicks. Body kicks, and he was catching them and then just taking me down. I mean, when I fight now, I don't really throw body kicks anymore, because I see them as, people know I'm a good striker, so they'll just wait for something like that and catch him and then want to get me down. So yeah, I sort of learned from that, really. I know that's going off course a bit, but yeah.
Yeah, but what you say earlier about fighting at these shitty leisure centres, but it's those type of events, particularly when you're getting into sport, that are key to grounding you and giving you that experience. What you said about the no headshots, I encourage all my guys to take part in that. Particularly if they're new starters. We've started running into clubs because we've got a full size cage at our gym. Yeah. And I think I probably had 20 of my lads competed at no headshots. It's a good stepping stone, and it gets, like, as you said, it gets them used to the crowd, the nerves, and without that fear of being knocked out in front of your friends and your family as well. Yeah. Which is a good. Some of the best fighters on the circuit, mate, have had the no headshots. Even I remember Paul Daly and that fighting back in my day, back in the combat sports, on mats. Yeah. So, there's lots of guys who've had it. So I believe there's a place for it, because it same as anything, it's about building the experience and building up to that point through when you turn pro. Yeah, so 10 fights at amateur. First pro fight, who was that against and where?
My first pro fight was on FCC in Bolton, Reebok Stadium, Bolton Wanderers Stadium. That was against Omid Mohammadi. I think he was like an Iranian Olympian wrestler or something. I think he wrestled in the Commonwealths. Yeah. Omid Mohammadi. Yeah, it was a decent fight. He was really good wrestler. He was taking me down. I remember I went for an armbar. He just picked me up above his head and slammed me on my back. I fell off. I didn't really, I should have hooked the leg then, but that's all stuff that you learned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, and he slammed. But I think I just gradually weighed him down and I ended up stopping him, knocking him out. But yeah, it was good experience, man. Good experience.
At what point did you think this is something I want to pursue? This is something I want to do full time?
I've had this question before. I don't really know. To be honest, it's just my coach, and people just said, "Oh, you should turn pro now." You're really good at this. I've never really thought, "Oh yeah, I really want to do this." Just that it's sort of like I'm meant to do this, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like this is what I'm meant to do. And I'm like getting that good at it. I should be doing it. I want to. I think it's people who have sort of pushed me and said you should be doing this, and that's made me do it. I think. Yeah.
As a young man or as a young boy growing up in school, were you somebody in fights a lot? Were you a natural scrapper, as they say?
Yeah. Look, yeah, I used to have like fights and stuff in school and like on the street and that. Like, have a tear up. But it's like I walked in, I couldn't fight. That's why I went to MMA. Like I could always fight. You know what I mean? So I had a lot of in school. I got kicked out of school. I think what was that for? I think that was eventually for fighting. I remember I fought this one kid. He was a Thai boxer, and I remember before it was outside the Leisure Centre, and the lads going, "No, don't fight him," because he's a Thai boxer, like. So then I think he's gone to crap me, like I've dodged it, and then he's gone to do a Thai clinch on me. So I banged him in his mouth. I think I dropped him, like, and I just ended up laying into him. Like, I remember him trying to do the Thai clinch on me, like he just narrowly missed me with a knee. But I just flattened him in the end, and he had a massive black eye and that. But I got kicked out of school for that, and he never did, even though he started it. Well, they had it in for me anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So naturally, as a youngster, naturally had a bit of aggression about you. Enjoyed the fight. For want of a better term. So probably it was only a matter of time before you got involved, whether it be boxing or MMA or something, because it was a good channel for you to get your aggression out. Is that fair to say?
Definitely. I mean, when I was a kid, my old man took me to rugby, because I was so hyper, so aggressive. I wanted to play football, but he was like, "Nah, you need to do rugby, like, to get rid of some of that energy." And we used to train like twice a week after school, and used to play on Sundays. Played in Wales and Scotland and everything for Wolverhampton. So I did that for about 7 years, 6-7 years when I was a kid.
I always say whenever I have an ex-rugby player come and start training me, I find somebody that's played rugby adapts to MMA, reasonably well, because they're used to the contact, they're used to the hard fitness sessions, they're used to that physical side of sport, and I think it's a good ground in rugby. I've got some guys that have come over from a rugby background that have turned into really good fighters. So I think that's a sport that does transfer well into MMA.
Definitely, I feel rugby as well. I feel it gave me that determination never to give up. I mean, because when you're playing the game, you're like a team, and like you've got to keep going. Like, you've got to keep going. Like, I was a forward in it. I was number 8, and I was also also ones on the sides, second row, flankers on the sides. Yeah. I was a flanker. But I was always I was becoming an engine, because I was always there by the ruck, the maul. I was always there. When the play broke down, boom, I'm there. Like trying to protect the ball on the ruck, and they just give me keep going, just give me determination. So I think when I got into MMA, like when I was doing the mad fitness sessions and stuff, I just I wouldn't stop. I just keep going, and even in the fighting, I think it's like, I think that's set me in good stead. Like,
yeah, it toughens you up physically, doesn't it? Rugby as well. You're getting used to having that bumps and bruises and getting knocked about. Yeah. So you've won your pro debut. You've had a few fights. I looked on your record. You're 10-1 at the moment. Yeah, as a pro. Okay. Yeah. Your loss was to Reece McKee. Was that at lightweight or was that at welterweight?
That was at lightweight. Yeah, lightweight. Over in Dublin. Yeah.
That was quite. What event was that on?
That was Bama.
That was
I don't remember. I think it was like Bama. You're on the first of the show, Bama Bellator.
Yeah.
When they sort of like mix it together. Yeah.
One of the questions someone sent in, because it's something I've heard in different interviews and have seen online, a lot of people have said, is it true that you were pulled off a Bama card because you hadn't sold enough tickets? Is there any truth to that?
Yeah. I mean, I spoke to it's definitely true. Like, what happened now? I was meant to fight Lewis Monarch in Newcastle, Bama Newcastle, I think it was. Lewis Monarch. I think he's a featherweight now in cage, isn't he?
Yeah, Lewis is, yeah.
I was meant to fight him, like, and he's from Sunderland, I think. So obviously, boom, it's next to Newcastle, isn't it? Like, so that would have been like, he'd have sold. I'm thinking he'd have sold a few tickets there to get his mates and that to come down over to Newcastle. It's half an hour away. But like they had to cut a few fights, and they said, "Oh, they cut my fight because I wasn't selling enough tickets or something." And I was like, "What are you on about? You're sending me up to Newcastle? How much you spent me up there? Yeah. Plus, I just fought in Birmingham and I sold over 100 tickets. So they was coming out. This used to come out with some bullshit, mate. I tell you, but weird, man. Some of the shit used to do. Like, there was a set that before that they cancelled one of my fights because what was it? You never heard? They asked me if I wanted to fight this kid from London, and I said yeah. Like I confirmed the fight, and then like about 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, I messaged one of the promoters, said I can get some tickets. So the fight's off because I haven't heard back from you. I said you haven't heard back from me. We confirmed the fight.
Yeah.
Like just because I'm not in contact with you, what do you want me to do? Like ringing you and shit for no reason. Like I don't know. It just used to go on mad. Like
Yeah.
I ain't mentioning no names, but with certain people, like I ain't gonna. I ain't trying to mention no names, but yeah, it's just weird.
So, on the last few fights, then obviously were you contracted with Cage Warriors? Did you sign a multi-fight deal with those guys, or was you just fighting from fight to fight?
With Cage, I signed 5-fight contract with them.
Yeah.
To be honest, when I first started, I wanted to do a 3-fight contract, but I don't think they said nah, we want you on a 5-fight contract.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did sign the 5-fight, to be fair, because it's really. I think with Cage Warriors, they're brilliant. If you're doing well and you're winning your fights, they'll build you up in it, and then.
Yeah, agreed.
Really well, and then obviously they did that show in Birmingham, and they put me in main event. They sort of built me for that sort of like show, and then got American in, and then next thing you know, I'm in the UFC. So I think they're like the best at doing that, bringing talent.
I agree. I mean, there's lots of arguments saying they don't pay the same sort of money as Bellator and things like that, but what they are, they're a guaranteed path to the UFC if you're successful. They do a brilliant job of promoting you. I mean, they turn their fighters into some of the best known sportsmen in Europe. I mean, they've done a brilliant job with you. I felt they give you the right fights at the right time. They built you up progressively, but at the same time as well, they built your exposure. You've gone from Jai that's been kicked off a Bama card because allegedly you haven't sold enough tickets to one of the more recognizable things. The fact they're on UFC Fight Pass and we're on BT Sports for so long, it does make you recognizable, and it helps them when you're doing your sponsors and things like that. So it earns you guys a few more quid as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I feel like, like you said about the money, if you're willing to, to do it, because I don't want to sound too, because I've got some of my teammates and that are on Bellator and stuff, you know what I mean, and everything. I feel like obviously he's sort of like because it's like you're not making as much money in that on Cage Warriors. It's sort of, but if you're willing to like pull up with the not as much money, but in the end you could end up on UFC, and then that's like a big exposure, isn't it? I mean, Bellator are paying good dough, you know what I mean? I know.
Oh yeah.
Really good dough, but I think if you get in the UFC, you are, you're likely to be a bigger star.
Agreed.
With everything else that comes with that, you could make.
Also, I think, Jay, I don't know what your take is. I think that if you do sign for Bellator, it does have an impact on your prospect of fighting in the UFC. There seems to be that bit of rivalry with them, and
I don't think get on there.
There's not many guys from Bellator transferring across the UFC on a regular basis.
Nah, I don't think that if you go to Bellator, I don't think you'll get into the UFC. I think only maybe like the champions would come over. I think they have had a couple come over, like
Eddie Alvarez was one. Ben Askren, Eddie Alvarez, Ben Askren, but it tends to be the high elite level guys. I mean, for me, and I run a gym, and I've got lots of lads who've got aspirations of getting in the UFC. My attitude is, if we follow the Cage Warriors path, because it's tried and tested. They got the blueprint. They put several of my guys through the process and got them into the UFC, so it works, So for me, if your aspiration is to fight on that top tier, which UFC is, you can paint it up as you want. They are the Champions League of MMA. Short-term sacrifice is what I say to the lads. You can chase some big money with Bellator now, but it's going to impact on your UFC. Whereas short-term sacrifice, get used to. It's a good apprenticeship, Cage Warriors. You're live on TV. There's big crowds. You're used to interviews, social media, and I just think it's a fantastic apprenticeship to get you ready, so that when you walk into the UFC, it's a smooth transition. You're not overawed by the situation.
100% as well. You will get tough fights and that, and they give, like you said earlier, and they give you the right fights at the right time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, with Bellator, I do think it's good how they're giving out the good money.
I agree.
Certain people who ain't gonna, they're not gonna get in the UFC.
I had this conversation with them.
They're gonna make a good living. So
Yeah,
I agree with that. You're never going to get in the UFC.
No, spot on. I mean, I got a few guys which are seasoned pros, and they probably just missed the boat a little bit on the UFC, but could earn now, a good fight deal with Bellator and be successful and earn some decent money. So I think it's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking them down anywhere, but I just think that for the athletes that are looking to progress to the UFC, Cage Warriors is a tried and tested path. You had a fantastic run on Cage Warriors, some notable wins. You beat Steve O'Keefe. I remember watching that. I really enjoyed that fight. That fight for me was where I took a bit of notice of you. As a coach from a different team, I always at the events and having a look at the circuit. And I remember, Steve had you in some positions when he's an elite level grappler, but you have that ability. And I say this to everyone, you've got that ability that you may get taken down, but keeping you down is another thing, isn't it? Is that something you work on a lot in the gym about getting back up from those bad positions?
See, I think that's probably my favourite fight, that fight. Because I was like, there was times there, like it was, like they say, it's a game of, was it game of inches or whatever, like,
Yeah.
It's a game of chess, like it could have gone one way and that'd have been it. But I think that comes from, you say, getting up. I think when I was welterweight, when I amateur, I was welterweight. So all the lads were massive, like they were weighing in, like, they was probably weighing in nearly 90 kilos. And I was like 77 kilos on the weighing day. And on the fight day, I was like 77. So I was always getting taken down. And I always had to constantly get back to my feet. So I've always had that instinct to me. I mean, I remember my coach, John Ashley, used to have me down the gym, training sometimes in a weighted vest.
Yeah.
A weighted vest. So I had to get up with a weighted vest on, and like, people were taking me down to get up with a weighted vest on and that. But it just comes naturally to me. But I think when I transitioned to Renegade with Breeze has given me a lot of techniques, like small things, and they're helping me like get back to my feet.
Yeah.
And especially when you're fighting elite level grapplers and like people like Steve O'Keefe, like those little things you need to know, just to do it at the right time, not to get caught in these chokes and that and heel hooks and everything. And
it's key for a fighter with your style. You've got proven knockout power. You're for me one of the best strikers in the division. Those little details, as you said, like you're learning off Tom, and are key to you getting back your feet and keeping that fight where you're comfortable. And listen, I'm under no illusions. I say this to everybody. I've not seen a massive amount of grappling from you in fights, but coming from a team like Renegade, where you've got elite level guys like Chewy and Tom, I for one can imagine your no-gi game is up there with any of the guys in the gym.
Yeah, well, that's a number of things, well, mate. With this, it's got really good now. You know what I mean? And with this corona and that, it's like sort of knocked me back a bit because I was just getting getting a good bit of momentum. I mean, when you started when I first went down there, like going with some of the guys, and you're just getting tap. It's unbelievable. I remember I went with Tom one time, and I figured I must have got within 5 minutes. I reckon I got tapped about 8 times or 10 times, and he was just demoralising. Like, he was like, oh my god. But like now, like I'm going with people, and I'm not getting tapped, and I'm like, I'm pressuring them.
Yeah.
I mean, certain people. So it's obviously I'm improving, but then obviously with this Rona and that, it's knocked me back a bit. But it'll come, man. It's all good.
What's a normal week training look like in normal times? What's your program from a Monday to Friday? What's your training schedule?
Monday we have war wrestling, cage wrestling. That's like a proper graft. That's down Renegade at 11 o'clock. Then on the night time I'll do pads with my striking coach. Tuesday, MMA drills, jiu-jitsu in the morning. Then I'll go and do conditioning. Strength conditioning in the afternoon. Wednesday, MMA sparring. That's with the little gloves.
Yeah.
In the morning. Then afternoon pads. Thursday, jiu-jitsu, MMA drills in the morning. Conditioning in the afternoon. Friday, track work in the morning. And track work in the morning. I think I do bag work on the night. Or track work in the morning, bag work on the night. Then Saturday, just sparring.
Yeah. So
in the morning, that's it. I have Sunday off. And
you're
probably hearing, I don't do any jogging or nothing like that, really.
Yeah. So it's a proper well-rounded setup then. Individual jiu-jitsu one day, wrestling the next day, MMA the next day. And then putting it all together in the MMA sessions.
Yes, definitely.
Right, so I remember watching your fight with Steve O'Keefe, and then obviously you had a fantastic run in the Cage Warriors division, and then you've got your title fight then. Jack McGee for the title, was it? Yeah.
Jack Grant.
Sorry, Jack Grant. Yeah. And I came up. That was in London, wasn't it? We came up for that to watch, and lots of people that I was chatting to were like, "Oh yeah, I think Jack." Jack will sub Jay, and I'm like, listen, I've watched the fight twice with O'Keefe, and I just felt that if there was one person, because I've got a lot of respect for Jack, I think he's a brilliant fighter, but if there was one fighter in that division who could outdo his grappling, I felt it was you, and it was a brilliant performance on the night. How did that feel to become world champion? What was that like? Was that a realization of a long-term dream?
It's mad, isn't it? I just didn't really think I was gonna get there, and did this, but you just surprise yourself, don't you? You just keep fighting and keep winning, and then you get to these positions, and it's like it's something you can never think you could do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just unbelievable that night, and I just felt in a state of flow that fight. Like I was just on autopilot, so I was just like. I think I was a bit I was wary of his power because I know I remember being in the crowd. I don't think I'd had a fight, and I'd been in the crowd at Bama. I think I'd been an amateur, and I remember seeing Jack Grant. He knocked this geezer out. I think it was Warren Key.
Right? Warren, yeah, I remember him. Yeah,
knocked him out. I think he was out for about 5 minutes on the in the cage, stone cold, flattened him, and I acted like we was all waiting in the crowd. It was about 5 minutes before he come back around.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I gotta go and fight this kid now. But then obviously it was his grappling as well. I was like, I got to be careful with that. But so I never overdid anything. I never went for the big shots. I just kept him at the end of my punches. Didn't engage in the grappling. And then I won it. I was just I couldn't the performance I put on. It was just it was just unbelievable. I was amazed with myself.
Is that your favourite performance today? Would you say that's your favourite fight?
I don't know, man. I like the old key fight I do, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you said earlier your favourite fight. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a split second, then I just boom, just won, stuck it on him and got the win.
Yeah.
So I was expecting him to take me down, and I was expecting to be in these bad situations, and I did. I overcame them, and got the win. So surprisingly, I got that sweep as well. I trapped his arm and got the sweep. I thought he'd be a bit heavier, heavier on top, but I think he was a bit. I heard him gassing a bit on me, breathing heavy. So I was lulling him a bit, making him think I wouldn't do nothing. I just went bang, went for the bridge, and I knew he was gonna go for my arm. So I just got the elbow out, and I knew I was clear. So then bang.
And again, your style of fight, and I think having a good cardio tank is key for you. And I think you prove that in your fight. Your pace doesn't slow up at all either, does it? You can maintain that pace, and as you said, I don't think I've ever looked at you and think, oh, Jay's looking a bit tired now. You keep pressing and pressing and pressing, and you break a lot of people, I think, as well. It must be so destroying for these elite level grapplers. I think I've got him down, I've got his back, or I've got him out, and then all of a sudden, pop, you're back up to your feet and they got to bang again. So I'm a great believer in mental ability is more important than physical ability, and I think you break a lot of people mentally with your style. The fact that you can get up from them bad positions where normally they would probably 99% of the time catch somebody with a sub or stop them with a ground and pound. So you're a dangerous fight for any grappler, I think, because if they can't finish you early, they're in for a long night.
Yeah. I think as well. I think it's my style. I stay quite loose, and I'm really loose. And I try to flow. I don't load up or nothing. So I'm not. I keep it that one flow state, where I can stay loose and always have that good the cardio. I don't really, I don't slow down, and I don't start gassing. So yeah, man.
You're not a big presence on social media. You're not somebody that's tweeting and Instagramming all the time. Yeah. But did you find after you won the world title, you became a little bit more recognisable? Were people in Birmingham recognising you outside of the gym?
I think in Wolverhampton, because I'm from Wolves, in it,
Wolves, yeah.
So yeah, I do get noticed a bit more. If I go up if I just go out shopping or something, I go up the town. A couple of people are said, "Oh, all right, Joe, yeah, how you doing? You okay?" And said hello, and it's nice to get that. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Recognise what I'm doing.
Particularly from your own people, from your hometown. I think it's nice to have that recognition from the community as well. So Who's your toughest opponent to date? Who would you say is your toughest fight?
I'd say I think Erdy Karatis was a tough fight. That was my first one on Cage Warriors. Man, he was just like he was really short when he like I think he was about 5'7" or something. He was like really small, so he was like he was slipping and ripping. And I think he had a big like kickboxing experience.
Yeah.
Like and that was I'd had like over a year off, so that was like a tough, going in there with him. That was like it was a tough fight. He was one of the tough fights. Also, I think Mick Stanton was a pretty tough fight when I fought him at welterweight.
Yeah.
Amateur. I don't know if you watched that fight, but for 2 rounds, for the first round anyway, he was chucking me about everywhere, like wrestling.
Well, he's fighting middleweight now at pro, isn't he, Mick Stanton?
Yeah.
So he's a big lad for you to be.
He missed weight as well, When I fought him, he missed weight. Like he weighed in. He couldn't make weight. I think he was like 79. He weighed in or 78. And I still took the fight. And on the fight night, mate, he's just across the other side of the cage. He was fucking huge, mate. I bet he was nearly 90 kilos.
Yeah.
Massive.
There's nothing worse than that day before when you look at the opponent and you think, Christ, they look like they've ate somebody. Right? One of the biggest ones we ever done was Martin McDonough. He's a lad that trained with me for years. And we went down to Portsmouth and we fought a guy called James Brum, who was tearing up the bantamweight scene at the moment. And we done the weigh-in day before, and I says to Martin, "Don't look that big, he's not as big as I thought." The next day, we walked out of the cage, and Martin turned around, he goes, "I think he's eating somebody." He just looked like a totally by the time he fell out, he's massive. So it can be a little bit daunting. I mean, what do you walk around at, Jay? What's your weight walking around?
About 78, 77.
Yeah, so you're a decent size lightweight.
It goes from 77 to 79. I don't really go higher than that. Sometimes I've been 80, but that was when I come back from Jamaica last year or the year before. Fucking hell, man, I was massive. About 80 kilos, but eating too many dumplings and that. Chicken and that, you know what I mean? But around 78, 77, 78.
Is the cut to lightweight easy enough for you? Is that a division you're going to stay at?
It is easy, yeah, but it's like the dieting's hard. I mean, the last 4 weeks of my fight. The last 4 weeks of camp, I start dieting, and I try and diet down to like. So on the morning of the weigh-in, I'm like 73, and then I'll do like 2 kilos in water, two and a bit kilos in water.
Yeah. What do you go back up to then on fight day? What are you walking around back at?
I don't really check, but I think the one time I did check, I think I was about 75.
Get used to it, because in the UFC they weigh you before you fight on the day. Yeah. When you get to the venue, they take you in, they weigh you just to see exactly what you put on now.
I don't know why did they do that? Like, what does that show?
I think they're doing it to try and eradicate dangerous weight cutting, because they like to advise you now through the Performance Institute. So they like to keep it at a certain percentage of increase per body weight. So if you're over that percentage, they'll just give you a little bit of advice on weight. What's the Brazilian kid's name? The Brazilian lad that just beat Yo Romero. He's been pulled up about cutting too much weight. He does it after Yeah, he's a big lad, but I think as long as you're doing it properly, it's only an advisory role, but they do like to monitor it to keep on top of it. Now, so one question is off my son Jack. He thinks you've got the best fight name in Europe, the Black Country Band. So where does that come from? Where did that nickname come from?
Well, I just thought it made sense, to be honest. Black Country and a banger just sounded good. To be honest, there's like a boxing promotion around here called Black Country Bangers or something. I think it was called. And I seen that. I thought, that sounds good. Black Country Banger. So like, Midlands Mauler, like some lads at the gym were calling me, and then like Black Country Banger sort of stuck. So
I think it's a cracker. The Black Country Banger. It's a brilliant.
Well, do you know what though? I don't know whether it's to use it in America though. That's what I mean. Because I probably got Black Country. What is he saying? What does he mean, Black Country? Is he from Africa or something? Like that? That's what they'll probably come out with. But it sounds good. I can't wait for Bruce Buffer to say it.
Yeah, he's gonna have to carry it on. You can't change your nickname. It's brilliant, and your UK fans will be disappointed, I think, if you get rid of it.
Yeah.
Right, so you win the world title. You then fight an American, and that was an absolute sublime performance, a walk-away knockout. How long after you won that fight did the UFC come calling? Because at the time, I think you were calling for the UFC because you wanted to give up. You were working at the scaffolder at the time, I believe, yeah, and you wanted to pursue it as a full-time career. I think the UK MMA scene were calling for it. You know, even people that are not affiliated to you or your gym, they were online. I can remember them tagging in Dana White and Sean Shelby and different people saying, let's give this kid a chance. So there was a big furore. Everybody's calling for you. Where, how did it come about? Where were you? How did you find out? Did they approach you? Did your manager approach them? What was the situation?
I think what it was is Graham had a meeting with them in not just about me, but like all loads of stuff over in Vegas and that. And he said that they were still saying that they need to cut some guys in the lightweight division before I can get in, which is it's understandable. They can't just keep employing people, can they? You know what I mean? Yeah. Max, I understand that. But then they were saying it again, and I was like, oh man, when's this gonna happen? You know what I mean? Like, and then I think Graham said he went over there and he was sort of like cussing, like saying, oh, like this kid should be in the UFC. It's a joke. Like it's like no one for him in Europe. Like you know what I mean? So he should be in the UFC. And then eventually, like he FaceTimed me, like and that, and then he told me, you know what I mean? I was over the moon, to be honest.
Yeah.
So a couple of months in that before, it was like I think it was like end of January, beginning of Feb. I got told. Yeah. And then I think the week after, then they shouted me to they said, "Oh, do you want to fight?" When what's his name? Stevie Ray pulled out of the DKC fight.
Yeah.
They shouted me straight away. They shouted me like, and I said yes straight away. Well, I spoke to Tom. I spoke to Breeze.
Yeah.
Because I always speak to my coach first. I ain't gonna like commit something before my coach. Like, so I spoke to Breeze. The same day, I said, yeah, we'll take it. Sweet.
Yeah, and what I will say, mind they've thrown you straight in with an experienced guy in you. You know, Mark as well has got a great reputation of being he's BAMA champion, wasn't he, before he signed for the UFC? He's got a highlight reel of knockouts like yourself. So was it any hesitation on your part, or was it just like, no, we're good to go? I'm happy to fight.
To be honest, I thought I'd end up fighting him anyway soon, because we both, as soon as I got signed to UFC, I thought, we're both like from England, innit? Like, so they're gonna end up they'll put this fight on sometime.
Yeah.
You know, if there's a show over here in Europe or something, they'll end up putting it on. So I thought it might happen, and I thought as well, I was getting ready anyway before that, in case one of them two pulled out. Stevie Ray. Yeah. I was getting ready anyway before, because I thought, one of these pull out, I'll just jump straight in. So when they shouted me, I said, yeah, you know what I mean? Obviously, he's well, I think he's had like 7 fights in the UFC and that, he's a good fighter, dangerous striker. But this is the thing, you want to be the best fighter you can be. You want to test yourself against the best part. When you look back at it, you want to say, fuck me, I beat him. Why am I beat him? It's something you can look be proud of.
And it's UFC, mate. There's no easy fights. I say this to everybody. You don't get into the UFC unless you're a very, very capable athlete. So there's no easy fight. And I was looking forward to that fight. As a spectator, that was one of the fights that I spoke to my guys about. Like, really look at, I know Mark and his team have a lot of respect for those guys, Danny Mitchell and the guys, and we've been at a few events. But I just think it had all the ingredients to be a really exciting fight. Two really dangerous strikers, both a good, wrestling and defense. And he was on a bit of a purple patch as well, because I remember him, he lost 3 in a row. He then fought Joe Duffy in London last year in March. And that was a take it or leave it fight. He was pressuring, and he put in probably his best performance in the UFC against Joe, I felt. Really good win. He's had a couple of good wins since. So it was a good. It must have been absolutely, everybody on that card was disappointed that London fell through. But for you, after waiting so long and working so hard for that moment, for your UFC debut in your own country as well, which is always a bonus, I think. For a week's notice. How did you cope with that, buddy? How did you manage?
I don't know, man. It was just one of the. I sort of knew it was coming with the corona. Like things were getting shut down, so I sort of gradually knew. It wasn't like boom out the blue. It's cancelled. So I was getting ready for it. I was gutted, but I think as well. My missus is pregnant, and she and my son's due in in June. So I think I was had that sort of my back. I sort of had that. I was still looking forward. I'm looking forward to that, obviously.
Yeah.
So that was sort of still there. I mean, if he wasn't coming, it'd have been more devastating. Does that make If it makes sense?
Of course it does. You've still got this,
There's bigger things in fighting.
Of course it is. Yeah, it's a negative situation, but you've got a wonderful event about to take place. Is that your first child as well?
Yeah, my first child.
Lovely, mate, lovely. You'll enjoy everything. And I say this to everybody as a father: you can't explain fatherhood until that baby is born. Your life changes like that. Your whole mindset, your whole priorities change in an instant the minute that baby's born. So good luck with that, buddy. When is it? June?
Yeah, June the 14th. But I think he's coming before that, because he's measuring. He's weighing a bit bigger. The doctor says. There's so many like his own.
So it's all that off time you've had, look. So when the UFC does resume, is Mark an opponent you would like it to be your first fight, or you're just not? You're easy. You'll take whoever they say and win.
I'm not. Obviously, I'm not bothered. Like, whoever don't want me to fight, but it would be good because obviously he's knocking on the door, the top 15. So to get straight in there, beat him. I'm straight up there. You know what I mean? Top 15, top 10. My name's up in lights straight away. Which would be good. You know what I mean? But whatever they want me to do.
Yeah, I done a. Pardon me, say again.
They got that card in Dublin, didn't they? But I don't know if that's going to go ahead now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit too soon, if I'm honest. And this Fight Island is great, and these behind closed doors events are great. But for us UK guys, the airports are shut. We can't fly out, can we?
No, that's what I mean.
So we are in a bit of limbo at the moment, and there's not enough UK fighters to have a UK only card. So to everybody, there's a lot of fighters in weights which wouldn't match up. So I think it's just we got to sit down, be patient, and wait for it to pass. And fingers crossed, it won't be too long, buddy, and we'll be back to a little bit of normality. I don't know what. So I did see on social media have you gone back to the scaffolding? Is that full time, or is it until your fight comes up, or is it just?
No. I think that was like when I got the call. Obviously, it was off and everything. I went back to work and obviously, but like I ain't gone back to work, especially because my missus is pregnant.
Yeah, just
in case, I don't want to be catching nothing and bringing it on me after. You know what I mean?
Yeah, read me.
And to be honest, the UFC they did this thingy just didn't they? They sorted us out, so
yeah.
I'm alright for a bit. You know what I mean?
They have a lot of charisma, but the same with us. We had two fighters on the card, and both of them got looked after. So we can't really complain. They got paid a good amount of money for not competing, so they were compensated, and I'm glad they done the same.
I was compensated, so
yeah,
it's all good. Fair play to them, man. They looked after us.
I done an interview for a podcast. I think it was back last month, and they were asking me about UK talent, and I brought you up, and I did say that I felt you could drop in now and fight anybody in that lightweight top 10 and hold your own. Is that have you got that mindset that no, not rushing? There's no rushing with anything. You've got to build up to that point, but have you got that much confidence in your ability that you're capable of beating a top 10 guy at the moment?
Definitely, 100%. Like I watch some of these guys, and I think I definitely could beat them.
Yeah,
I definitely feel that. You got to be that. You got to be confident anyway and feel that. You know what I mean? But I definitely feel like I could be up there with these. Like these guys, like freaking, like Hooker, Felder, Gaethje, Ferguson, like striking with these guys. I feel like I could definitely strike with these guys and get the win.
There was, and as I said, I think the Cage Warriors platform prepares you for that as well, because they're not giving you easy fights either. They're bringing in international opponents, good level European guys, and I don't think it's a huge step up anymore. Whereas probably 5 years ago there was a big gap. I don't think it's that big now between Cage Warriors and the UFC.
Definitely, yeah. You're definitely right, yeah. What you say, yeah.
Your teammate Leon was also on the London card, going to main event it against Woodley. Disappointing for him as well. Have you spoken to him much since this lockdown has happened?
I haven't spoken to him a lot, but I know he was after it happened and that, and whenever he got called off, he was chatting, and he was gutted and that and stuff. I know they were trying to organise it in America or something.
Yeah,
they were saying, but like, how's it you meant to get to America and get back from America? So, it was all mad.
No disrespect, but a week before a big fight like that for Leon, you've got to get used to, flying out on a Monday or Tuesday when you've got to get used to the jet lag. You're not going to land till Wednesday. Absolute rubbish preparation. I totally agree. If it was one of my fighters, we'd be saying we're not going. It's as simple as that. It's unfair.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like it was just a bout. Like he was like, he wins that, he's getting a shot at the title. Do you know what I mean? So it's a big fight for him.
Yeah, of course it is. And he's somebody as well that, along with the likes of yourself and Tom, let's talk about your gym for 5 minutes. I mean, Renegade, you've got Leon, you've got Fabian, you've got yourself, you've got Tom, you've got Aidan Lee. The middleweight for cage world. My mind's gone back.
Nathias, yeah.
Nathias. Is another savage coming out there. You've got a real strong team at the moment. What's the recipe for success here then? Why, how is there so many of you coming through this? Is it the coaching? Is it the camaraderie between the boys that's training there? What's the recipe for success there?
I think it is. It's definitely the coaching, the camaraderie, like you say. I think there's a good unit and of people there. And we all want each other. Genuinely, everybody wants each other to do well, and everyone's like really strong bond. You know what I mean? And a good team, and the coaching as well, the sessions, and everyone always turns up to help each other out and stuff.
Yeah.
Even not in, they ain't got a fight lined up, but we need sparring partners and shit. You know what I mean? We'll all turn up and help each other, and it's just the level as well. Like with the training, it's brought me on loads. You know what I mean? I was sparring with fucking Leon for the last camp. I did a few rounds with him, and he was a nightmare, to be honest with you. Obviously, it's understandable because he's fighting Woodley, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's himself. So he had that the eye of the tiger. I think Leon did for this camp, man. But it's just good because he makes me sharp. You know what I mean? I've got to stay aware. Else, you're gonna get in trouble. You know what I mean? So it brings you on. You know what I mean?
Is Tom the head coach there at Renegade? Is he classed as the head?
I'd say, yeah, Tom is one of the head coach. Him, Chu's the head jiu-jitsu coach.
Head jiu-jitsu guy, yeah.
Yeah, Leon also is a coach there. He does the wrestling class and stuff. I mean, Fabian's a coach there. That's another thing. We got loads of different people who teach different lessons and take the lessons. So we get different looks. That's another thing. I think Tom and Chu sort of set up the gym. But then they've made he does like Leon will do the Monday wrestling class, so we get different looks.
Yeah, which is great.
Now Fabian's doing a class on Wednesday, so we get different looks. Tom does classes on Tuesday and Thursday. And on the night, Chu does classes. Tom Corey, Danny Khalid,
Tom Coffey's a brilliant grappler as well, isn't he? Really good grappler.
Yeah, Mush Aslani as well. He's the wrestling coach there.
Yeah,
he's the reigning guy. He's wrestling he's wicked. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just loads of different people. Everyone just wants to do better, get everyone better.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's a good thing.
Is it possibly, I asked everybody, so have you got a youngster coming through that maybe is not well known that you feel is going to set the scene alight? Could be an amateur, could be a novice pro. Who for you at the gym is somebody we should be looking out for?
Oh yeah, there's this kid called Shay Ingram. I think he's had. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, watched him fight. Very good.
Yeah, I think since the Steve O'Keefe fight, I've been having him in sparring with me, and I mean the kid does he's a natural featherweight, but he weighs about 70, goes up to about 75 maximum.
Yeah.
So I've had him to spar with me on since Steve O'Keefe. The last fight as well against Kane because he was pretty shorter than me. And he was like a Thai boxer, but this kid's proper, man.
Yeah. So he's someone you think is destined for great things, yeah. So
great things.
So Shane Ingram, keep eye on him for the featherweight. Is he contracted with anybody at the moment?
He's but he's got his management. I forgot the name of his management. I don't know. He's not contracted with any fight promotion anyway. He's just fighting on the amateur scene, different promotions.
Yeah, so when is he looking to make his pro debut?
I probably why he's I think he's only 17, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so no rush. You just
I mean it's crazy to think that he can come in and spar and give me like competitive rounds.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? I'm not got like an ego where I'm not thinking, oh, I'm sparring with a 17-year-old or anything. That's another thing as well. There's no egos in the gym. Renegade,
I think that's important to be successful for a gym as well. I mean, I pride myself on my gym. There's no ego, you know. We welcome everybody. I mean, you could pop down tomorrow and you wouldn't feel out of place. You'd be made welcome. There's guys from the UFC sharing the mat with 17-year-old amateurs, as you've just said, you know. Our MMA sessions, we all train together, make sure the amateur boys that are coming through, particularly the ones that I think have got a good career in front of them, will train with the pro team. And I think that's key to having the transition and the conveyor belt keep going forward so they can learn off the guys that are already there. So okay, Shea Ingram's one for us to keep an eye out for. Obviously, you know, you left the lightweight division at Cage Warriors. Thoughts on a couple of fights here? Mason Jones has just won the title. What's your thoughts on Mason?
Yeah, I think he's a good guy. You know, he's a good fighter. I think he gets hit too much, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, all of his fights, his face he's always banged up in it. All of his fights, he's either got a cut or what his face is mashed up. But he has got skills. You know what I mean? He did well against Joe. You know, put him away. So fair play to him. You know, he's only young as well, isn't he? I think.
Yeah, he's young. He's the same age as Jack Mason. I think 24 coming up 25. So, you know,
he's got time as well. So there's no rush for me either to try and get.
Yeah, I'd like, you know, he doesn't train with me, Mason, but he's someone I keep an eye on because he's fought on the Cage Warriors Wales, and I've known him since you kid. I'd like him to have another defence of the title. I think he'd be ready then for that. You know, if he has a good win there, he'd be ready for a call up. Paddy Pimblett, thoughts on Paddy?
Yeah, man, Paddy's he's a good guy, man. I think hopefully he'll get in the UFC. You know, he's got some good skill. I think he's got good entertainment. Like,
yeah, I agree.
He's entertaining, so I think he will get into the UFC. You know, especially his grappling. He's a bit he's a bit unorthodox, isn't he? So he does all mad shit and that. So I think that's a good trait of his. Like, and yeah, man, hopefully see him in the UFC one day soon.
And again, he's another one, Pat. I think he's 24, 25 years of age.
Yeah, he's still young, isn't he? Yeah.
He seems older because he's been fighting pro since he was like 18, 19 years old. But the one thing with Paddy is, as you said, he's always in exciting fights. He's got a persona like Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. Yeah. He's got a massive fan following as well. And all these ingredients when signing for the UFC. I got a young lad that's been up and trained with you, Oban. What's your thoughts on Oban?
Yeah, Oban's good, but tell you, I'm gonna light him up next time he comes down the gym. Light his ass up.
I want to let you know because he'd be watching this when I'm up for it.
He's good, man. He's wicked.
Yeah.
He came down few times like for his last fight and for my
I appreciate you guys letting him come up to spar as well. Yeah, he's 22, Oban. People forget his age. He's 22 years of age. He's a young kid. You know, I'm excited by him. I think he's got potential to become a world champion on Cage Warriors in 18 months, 2 years, and progress onto the big league as well.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely get that Cage Warriors title. I think he could do it in a 2 fights time. I reckon he's ready. Like, I think, but there's no rushes there.
Yeah, I mean, he's 22. I've got to rein him back because he wants to fight everybody. He's called out everybody. He's called everybody out on the roster already. But from an ability side of it, like, I watch him in training and he blows my mind sometimes. But he's a naturally gifted lad. I agree with you. There's nobody in that top 10 in Cage Warriors that I would have any concerns about putting him in with straight away, even now. But I do think he'll get the title shot a bit sooner than most, just for the way that he sells himself as well. He's got that cheeky Chael Sonnen gimmick that he's got going on, and you know, he's very, very sharp with his tongue in a good way. So he's got that appeal. So, you know, I've got high hopes of Oban, and you know, I believe he's another Welsh fighter that will go onto the UFC as well.
Definitely, man. He's he's got what it takes. You know what I mean? I remember when he come down to Renegade like the first time, and I was like, oh yeah, you can do a few rounds with Leon as well, and that, and he's like, oh fucking hell, yeah, loved it. You know what I mean? Yeah,
he's a dream to coach as well because he's like a sponge. You know, he turns up, he gets changed, he has a bit of banter, but then boom, once we start, he's focused, he trains hard, he asks a lot of questions, which is key for me as a fighter. I want you picking my brain as a coach all the time. You know, what am I doing wrong? How could I have bit, you know? And he's constantly asking questions. He's constantly looking for the tough rows in grappling. You know, he's got the right mindset, and if he continues in the same vein, I think he's got a big future in front of him.
100%, 100%.
Right, I got some quick fire questions for you. Favorite fighter of all time?
MMA fighter, yeah?
MMA, yeah.
Oh, it's quick fire, yeah. He's not very quick. I used to love Carlos Condit when I first started, so I'll say Carlos Condit.
Carlos Condit, the natural born killer.
Yeah.
If you could match yourself with anybody in the world, past or present, what would be your dream fight?
Probably Carlos Condit, yeah.
Yeah. Just love to plant your feet and have it out on the feet with that guy, I'm guessing, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. If Dana White employed you for the day and give you an unlimited amount of money, what would be your dream matchup? If you had to match two fighters, what would be, and again, it can be past or present, what two fighters would you have loved to have seen fight in their prime?
In their prime? I don't know what, but I'd like to see GSP versus some of the welterweights now. Like, GSP versus Usman now, to see how we get on against the type of fighters nowadays.
Do you regard GSP as the greatest of all time?
Yeah, he probably is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got that ability where he could cut. If he was in his prime now, then because he is getting on in years now. But if he was in his prime, I think he's got that natural ability where he would dominate at any generation. You have some of the old school generation guys that wouldn't live today, but I think regardless of, in 30 years' time, if you put him in that environment, he'd still be the best in the world. I agree with you on that one. Where do you see yourself in 24 months? Where would you like to be in your career in 24 months' time, in 2 years?
In the top 5 of the UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any dream fight in that top 10 that you think you'd match up well?
I think I'd match up great against Ferguson, to be honest.
Yeah. Did you watch? What did you think of the fight last night?
I thought Gaethje was going to win anyway, because I feel like Ferguson, when he throws his shots, he doesn't move he doesn't move his head well off the centre line. I feel he puts his chin up in the air and he puts his head back, and I feel Gaethje's got a good left hook, so he's just throwing that all night long, and he ended up landing it in the end, didn't he? But
it was a brilliant disciplined performance by Gaethje. I thought it was fantastic. All right, last question. Will Herbert become the UFC lightweight champion?
100%, man. I can't see Khabib keeping me on the mat for five rounds.
Yeah.
I can't see him holding me down for 5 rounds, I'm telling you. And then I've just got that lovely 1-2 down the pipe. It's a wrap if I land that. And look, Michael Johnson, he's the only one I've seen him wobble freaking Khabib.
Yeah.
And he's with that straight backhand. And I got the best straight backhand in the division.
Yeah.
I ain't had a fight yet, but I will have. You know what I mean?
While we on it, just before I let you go, how would you? I'm just thinking of great strikers in that division. Conor McGregor, how do you think your style matches up with his style? He's two strikers going at it.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. Like, I think it'd be pretty cagey. I mean, he just looked to counter my. I know that's what he'd be doing in his whole camp, just training to dip off that right hand and come back with his left.
Yeah.
Typical southpaw like. But I don't. It's I'm saying all this, but I don't think he'd be able, because I'm always on my toes, constantly on my toes, so I'll be a nightmare for him. But he's wicked and he's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be great. It'd be a great fight.
He's been brilliant for the sport, Conor. Whether you love him or hate him.
Yeah, like you say, whether you love him or not, he's made the sport bigger, so he's going to make us earn a better living, basically.
With drip feeds, everybody's benefiting. Right. Well, I want to say thanks, Strife, for coming on. Really enjoyed talking to you, mate. It's been great to see, a little bit of the history of how you got involved in the sport and different things. Just for supporters watching, where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, so it's Joy Herbert MMA on Instagram.
Yeah.
And same again on Facebook, Joy Herbert MMA.
Yeah.
And that's it, man. Yeah, on the gram. Check me on the gram, man. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, man. Great talking to you. Anytime.
Brilliant. And, fingers crossed, 2020 will still give you enough time to get that UFC debut. I'd love to see you in there. And, for me, it'll be a reward for you and your team for all the years of hard work. And, all the tough fights you put in on the Cage Warrior scene. So good luck with the baby as well in June.
Cheers, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, no problems to it. And we'll catch you soon. Thanks, Jay.
Cheers, brother. Thank you. Nice.